All right, good morning and happy Monday. We are live talking about this week's weather. It is the first full week of May, and we're looking at some spring-like temperatures ahead. Temperatures actually warming up through the next several days. Lower 90s expected, and some 80s this afternoon, but through the progression of the week, it'll be warming up, and also small chances for rain. We'll talk more about that and the small chance of some isolated showers today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. But if you have any questions about the forecast, feel free to comment down below. Happy Monday, everybody. And it is cloudy, gloomy, and gray to kick off our new week. But it's dry. We saw a few sprinkles earlier this morning. You know, it was very light activity. We had some patchy fog, reduced visibility, some drizzle, some mist, that kind of variety of rain. Otherwise, dry at the moment. Over downtown San Antonio, the Medical Center, Morgan's Wonderland Camp, all showing similar conditions. And also some lingering fog. You can see over at Calaveras Lake, it's kind of hard to pick out the power plant and some of the buildings in the distance. So we're seeing a little bit of low-level clouds and also some lingering fog at this hour. But radar, it's mostly dry. Now earlier this weekend, you know, mold jumped pretty high. You can see it's over 9,000 on the count, 380. And it looks like my audio is working okay. Luis, can you hear me? All right, perfect. Yeah, I think audio is working just fine. Looks like it's working fine. All right, molds and pecan molds are heavy, pecan is light. That's a 20, perfect. There you go, Luis. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, so that's yesterday's count. Let's double check today's count. Let's see, so today is the 6th, May 6th. We have to double check, because this updates every day. But this past weekend we had some moisture, we had a lot of humidity in the air, even some rain Saturday and Sunday. And what that will do is jump up the pollen count, specifically the molds. And you can see yesterday it was really high. It was over 9,000 yesterday, and that is considered heavy. Today it's moderate, so let's update that. But if you're feeling, you know, your allergens and, you know, if you're feeling a little congested, it's probably the molds. But it is improving, that's the good news. So let's just fix that. That's line 2, and this is line 1. So that says 8,000, but let's fix this. It's actually moderate today. So molds are running around 520 on today's pollen count, which again is considered moderate and not heavy. But if you are, you know, feeling any symptoms, if you're feeling, you know, of course, what you'd feel when molds are high, that's probably the culprit. So yeah, let's double check that and this, perfect. So molds are moderate at 520. So that's down from 9,000 yesterday. So we're seeing pretty vast improvements in the mold count. Okay, so first full week of May, and you can see, you know, this past weekend, a few areas in southeast Texas, north of Houston, Conroe, near Liberty along I-45, they received over, you know, a foot of rainfall. Here in San Antonio, not so much. But notice our year-to-date rainfall, it's doing great. It's at 11.73. Last year's total, 20.01, so we're almost halfway, we're actually past halfway from when you compare last year's count. And then 2022 was one of the driest years on record. 11.51 was the yearly rainfall. And we're already past that, 11.73 currently in San Antonio. So we're doing great, we're on track. And we're actually above average, so we're doing really well in rainfall. And of course, this is the time of year we typically see that spike in springtime, April, May, and even June. It's not until the summertime where it starts to really trend down and the heat really starts to crank up. Now, here's some of the weekend rain estimates. Anywhere in central and north Texas, it was very active. You can see a pocket of rain that did exceed over probably about 10 inches of rain north of Austin, probably north of Killeen, west of I-35 and south of I-20. Now, see, let's actually sample some of this data. Some of those rain estimates are upwards of 10, 12 inches of rain just south of Dallas and Fort Worth, and similar numbers east of San Angelo. So that was earlier this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and notice anywhere in San Antonio it was really hit or miss. Hill Country saw some pretty good rainfall. Anywhere southwest of Bexar County saw some pretty good rainfall. Between McMullen County, Cotulla, I-35, but in San Antonio, it was hit or miss. A tenth to a quarter in some areas on the east side. Same thing on the southwest side of Bexar County towards Alamo Ranch, Highway 90, Castroville, Devine. A few areas of light rain in Helotes. let's say near, again, Alamo Ranch, northwest side of Bexar County. It wasn't a lot, but it was still some rain, and we got some good rain in the hill country, which is great for our aquifer, the recharge zone, and things like that. So while it was hit or miss in the last couple of days, were the areas that needed rain, they did receive rain, and that's the good news. So outside right now, it is mostly cloudy, as you saw on live cam, mostly dry though. Radar maybe picking up on a few sprinkles, and that's about it. Otherwise, very quiet on radar on this Monday. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at 78 at the airport, 79 at Stinson. We're looking at winds on the order of 5 to 10 miles an hour. Humidity is very high. It's very tropical, and you know, everywhere you look, it's either upper 70s or right around 80. So not a huge temperature difference from the morning lows to the afternoon highs because of how much moisture is in place. It's very tropical outside. 81 at Beeville, 78 at Del Rio, and middle to upper 70s across the hill country. Today's forecast: middle 70s across San Antonio, mostly cloudy skies and fairly dry weather. And we're looking at, you know, maybe a sprinkle, maybe an isolated shower at 4 and 5 p.m. Otherwise, drier weather trending this evening, 70s by 9 and 10 p.m. tonight. Now, at 4 p.m., there will be a couple of sea breeze variety showers towards Beeville, the Coastal Bend, George West, and Port Lavaca and Victoria. But most areas actually clearing out today. So if you're watching from Del Rio, Rock Springs, the hill country, you'll likely see some good sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures rebounding upper 80s here in San Antonio. There will be a bank of cloud cover that is a little stubborn to break apart from here to Floresville, Pleasanton, down I-37 towards Corpus Christi. So not everyone will see mostly sunny skies, but I imagine by about 4 and 5 p.m. a mixture and blend of sun and clouds. Tomorrow morning, clouds return, so does humidity and also fog. And that'll reduce the visibility for the morning commute tomorrow. So be careful playing early tomorrow morning. It should be mostly dry. There may be a little bit of mist and drizzle falling from these low-level clouds tomorrow, but in terms of measurable rain, it's very low and very slim for the next couple days here in San Antonio and across the area. As a matter of fact, farther north you go into Dallas, North Texas, that's where you pick up on a very dangerous severe weather threat today. Anywhere from the Red River towards Oklahoma, they are underneath a moderate to high risk of severe weather. You don't see this very often. I mean, in Oklahoma, in Arkansas, in Kansas, you will see this sometimes in the springtime, in April and May and early June. But to see a high level risk, a level 5 out of 5 for Oklahoma, that is incredible. So this is where they're expecting a lot of weather today. Probably after 2 p.m. through this evening, a line of dangerous severe storms moving across the Panhandle all the way through Oklahoma, parts of Missouri and Arkansas and North Texas. That is later on today. But notice where that highlighted pink shade of that contour is, that pink color, that is representing a high risk of strong severe storms that could probably produce some rotation and tornadoes in Oklahoma today. Notice San Antonio is excluded out of this. In Valverde County, Del Rio, they are included in a level 1 out of 5, but the highest threat for severe weather today and tonight will be in Oklahoma, where they're underneath a very large threat for severe weather. So here's tonight, 8, 9 p.m. You can see those storms erupting across Oklahoma. That's just a forecast model. Tonight, tomorrow morning, clouds return. Same thing for late Tuesday night and early Wednesday. Overnight fog, maybe some light rain, mist and drizzle. And then as a front drops farther south, that'll help produce another chance at some scattered rain Thursday and Friday. It's not going to be a lot. But there will be a few showers between here, Big Bend, Del Rio, the Valley, Corpus Christi. As that front pushes farther south, it'll collide with the humidity, and that'll help produce at least somewhat of a damp and active pattern between now and Friday. Again, overnight fog, morning drizzle, that kind of rain, light activity. But by Thursday and Friday, a slightly better chance at seeing the opportunity at a more scattering of showers and maybe an isolated storm. But right now, South Texas, very quiet and very humid and very warm, with just morning drizzle as the primary chance for rain in our forecast. So here it is. You can see temperatures are in the 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Terry, confused about shirts weather. What are you confused about, Terry? Shirts. Let me know. You know, right now temperatures, let's take a look at temperatures. Is that what you're confused about? Because depending on where you're looking from, yeah, Seguin at 79, Randolph at 79, Timberwood Park at 79, upper 70s, lower 80s for temperatures out the door. And it's just cloudy. There may be a few sprinkles out in Schertz, but again, radar, it's very quiet, mostly cloud cover, maybe light rain, drizzle. Rain, hot, windy. Yeah, I mean, that's that time of year, Terry. I mean, it's, springtime. It's always, I mean, the temperatures don't cool down by much. We're looking at lows in the 70s, highs in the 90s. It's this time of year where it just gets so tropical. You don't really get a cool down in the overnight, and the afternoons just get so humid and tropical in April, May, and in June. So, yeah, that is the routine this time of year, just tropical air and temperatures climbing and climbing. As a matter of fact, tomorrow it's going to be warm, 90 degrees. Same thing on, let's say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We see a break in activity Thursday and Friday, but really still, right around average. Friday, 83, 81 Saturday, and 82 on Sunday. Looking pretty good. Lows a little cooler by the weekend. Lows back in the 60s, highs still in the 80s, but again, between now and Thursday, very tropical, very humid, a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon, small chance at rain, only accounting for about a 10% at a stray shower, but nothing all that impressive. So, and that's basically between now and next Sunday. I mean, this past weekend, we had some pretty good on and off rain. I think we'll see the same thing this upcoming weekend, but even accounting for that, it's only isolated activity. It's 20, 30% isolated showers. But of course, as we get closer to the weekend, we'll get better forecast data in, because some models are saying some potential heavy rain on Saturday and Sunday, but right now we're only accounting for 20 to 30% spotty coverage, isolated downpours, most of us staying dry. And it looks like that'll be the case for the next 7 days as temperatures trend above average through Thursday. Near 90s, it's going to be very warm and humid, a little cooler Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with just a small chance at rain. Have a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you later, guys.